saving people money for over 75 years. By your Carolina Ford dealers. By Gatorade, win from within. And by Bojangles, it's bow time.
Marvelous day and night here in Louisville, Kentucky, as you take a look at our starting lineups brought to you by Food Lion, Robinson, Bibbs, Hill, C, and Outlaw for Virginia Tech. Louisville with only 9 scholarship players themselves. Snyder, Mitchell, Johnson, Adele, and Mathiang will be the starting 5 for Quick Rick's Cards. Today's game will be officiated by Roger Ayers, Patrick Adams, and Tim Nestor.
And Tim, you're going to see a lot of the same people out on the floor for this team, both teams. Louisville down V.J. King and Tony Hicks in this game as well, so it'll be a short bench for Rick Pitino.
King got a bruised thigh earlier in the week in practice, will only miss this game. The story on Hicks has been really sad. To think about that broken bone in the hand. As you see very quickly a 3-ball go down for Ty Outlaw, and it's 3-0 Hokies.
Coming into the game, 33 made field goals on the year, 25 from 3, so it doesn't look the part, but you have to get a hand up on him.
Mitchell just inside the arc, and it's 3-2.
And I would expect a little bit extra pressure, a little bit deeper than Virginia Tech. Maybe try to pressure them up, take some time off the clock defensively, get into their legs some.
We may see Matt Galloway play a little for Buzz Williams today. He would be the 8th guy, but basically they're a 7-man team right now with the loss of Clark. That one goes crying, and it's pulled down by Louisville.
Yep, you know, Tim, I mean, when you get right down to it, there are a bunch of teams in the league that are playing 7 guys right now.
You're right.
You know, I mean,
Absolutely.
They've got bodies, but they're playing 7 guys.
Hey, the number 2 team in the country is playing 7 guys. That's true really across the board in college basketball today. Frank McGuire would be proud. There's a missed reversal from point-blank range there for Jalen Johnson.
And if there's an area where Louisville would really have an advantage.
Oof. Nice work defensively with that swat by Mathiang.
It's going to be in the interior on both ends of the floor. You see it there with the block, and then I would expect also on the offensive glass.
Mitchell rattles home a tray.
And he really carried the load when Snyder was out with that hip flexor injury, and they had other guys who stepped up and played. But it's a pretty formidable backcourt for Louisville.
Snyder getting back really at just the nick of time, given what happened with V.J. King this week and the news on Tony Hicks being what it was. They're hoping to get him back maybe by ACC tournament time. That 3-ball from Bibbs.
And this is a very good overall shooting team in Virginia Tech, and Rick Pitino doesn't like what he sees right now on the early tip.
Yep. There's Buzz Williams. Had some travel issues getting in, which can happen from time to time. The charter company could not get the pilots into Roanoke in time. They wound up taking the school plane, which could only fit about, well, the 7 guys that are going to play, the team. And then the rest of the guys on the team, the sports administration staff and the broadcasters who managed to get in. They're fresh after the bus arrived at about 2:30. Let's quickly get our keys to this game, brought to you by Carolina Ford.
And it's for Virginia Tech. We'll call them the Magnificent 7 because that's what they're down to, and those guys are going to be playing heavy minutes throughout the rest of the year. It's just the way it is for this team, and they've coming off 2 big wins. And then for Louisville, defend without fouling. I talked about this team being a very good shooting team. Virginia Tech really gets to the line well.
All right, many thanks to Mike Burnup and John Laser for giving us the itineraries that the Hokies faced. Well, we got our information on the issues they had. Could not get a shoot-around in for practice yesterday as Donovan Mitchell gets that one to go. You know, it does have an effect. This time of year, it's one of those maybe understated stories through the course of any season is travel issues that we all have, but teams have them as well.
You want to irk a head coach. You want to have a foul up in the travel itinerary, whether it's buses, hotel rooms, planes, whatever. That just frosts them no end.
Well, we share that as broadcasters. And another 3 going down from Ty Outlaw. That's 2 for him, the redshirt junior from Roxborough, North Carolina.
You know, he hasn't taken a ton of them, but he shoots it well enough that you have to respect him and drive him off that line. You see a lot of matchup zone just because of the lack of bodies for Virginia Tech against Louisville. They've worked against it this week in practice.
Dang, Adele did not get that one to fall, but they do get a recycle, and Mitchell pumps. Oh, the bank is open on Saturday in Louisville.
Well, and that timeout for Rick Pitino is all about the defensive end of the floor. He's not, his offense is running just fine right now. But he knows he has to find shooters.
Now, listen, they defend the three better than anyone in the country, limiting the opposition to 28%. But already his team has yielded 3 of them from downtown. Shot clock winding down and up against it. It does not fall for Ahmed Hill.
No real post presence out there for Virginia Tech. C is the only guy, and he sets screens in that offense, so they're going to space those 4 perimeter guys out.
Beautiful tray. Quentin Snyder. We are raining trays in the Commonwealth in the first 4.5 minutes. Both teams.
Of the 14 shots taken, 9 have been threes.
How about that move? Straight line drive, which Louisville has been susceptible against. Justin Robinson taking it right to the rack. When you defend the 3 so well, you'll yield those. Pitino talked to us about that prior to the game today.
Here, Donovan Mitchell, you see the early long 2 that gets him off and then knocks down a couple of threes. But Tim, so far, he's perfect in this game, including getting a little help from the backboard here early. 10 of their 13 points. He's perfect from the floor.
And you see the improvement. I mean, that's immense when you think of where he was just a season ago from that spot. That's working on your game and listening to your head coach, the Hall of Famer, who knows a thing or two about what it's going to take at this level and at the next.
Well, and it's not often that you find a guy like that who makes that big a jump, but from the 3, but from freshman to sophomore year, you expect that kind of improvement.
Hey, how much fun was it today visiting with Rick before the game and going over the old times from 30 years ago in Providence when it all began?
Yeah, that was, the amazing thing was he talked about how much he loved those 2 years there. And
his most memorable, he said.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was very tough for him at that age, or maybe it wasn't because of the opportunity.
Yeah.
But, to leave that behind and what he had built there in a very short period of time and in a situation that a lot of people advised him not to get into.
Indeed. Mitchell lost his dribble that time. Scrum on the floor. They try to get him. Mitchell wrestling it away. We get a tie ball, and that hustle allows the ball to stay on this end of the floor with Louisville on the alternating possession. This is just stick-to-itiveness after Mitchell lost it.
Yeah, I said usually the first guy on the floor gets it, but unfortunately Robinson couldn't find anybody. But it's early in the game, Tim, but the best news for Virginia Tech is they don't have a team foul at this point, and that's the one thing that can get them in trouble.
Shot clock did reset because there was a loss of possession.
Up until that point.
Up until that point, that's right.
and then Robinson gets the foul on the hold.
Just that quickly. Buzz Williams gets a kick out of that one talking to Roger Ayers.
Well, you don't want to pick it up on an inbounds play like that with the guy going away from the basket.
Mitchell!
Some teams aren't ready to play at 1 o'clock games. Some guys aren't ready at 1 o'clock games. But certainly Donovan Mitchell got his warm-up right today.
Did he ever? Keep an eye on Seth Allen. Being challenged right now from a defensive standpoint. He's been shadowed beautifully so far by Dang Adele. Has to give it up late in the clock again, and that 3 ball does not fall for Robinson. And
it's Adele's length that is giving Allen problems right now, that he's able to lay off him a little bit, protect against the drive, but then he can get a hand up and contest a shot.
Mahmoud.
Nothing Allen can do about that inside.
Just into the game, the young man from Cairo, by way of West Oaks Academy. 18-10.
of their post players, arguably their best offensive threat down low.
Utilizing the ball fake, you're going to see a lot of that today from Outlaw and others around that area. Oh boy, that could have been a 4-point play as Allen got his defender, Jalen Johnson, airborne. He will get 3 at the line.
Yeah, and here it is. You can't get caught fighting behind that screen. That was a terrific screen by Mahmoud, and here it is. He's just playing over the top. Seth Allen at 6'1". There's not much he could do, but on the other end, Allen makes a great pump fake on a 3 and draws that ill-advised foul from Johnson.
This is ending a run that was at one point 10 love with the free throws. Seth had 8 points on just 2 of 5 shooting, but big free throws late in that game. Kind of woke up late in the game against Pitt, but his performance against Virginia was stellar.
Well, that's why you talk about today's game. I think Virginia Tech is solidly in the NCAA field right now.
Agreed.
But they pick up another signature win, and it'd be a virtual lock. You see them if they end up 10-8, 9-9. I think they're in the field.
No question. And bookend victories too, like the one with Virginia and then the one against Duke early. That Duke win now shining more brightly than it did in January and late February, given what Krzyzewski's team's been doing of late. There's a turnover as Seth Allen got a little excited too quickly. Time to look now at the nation's top 25, brought to you by the Honda dealers of the Carolinas. You'll see 5 of them there. Number 25 Notre Dame is rolling against North Carolina State today. More on that situation, the firing of Mark Gottfried. We'll talk about that a little bit later on today.
Yeah, the 6 teams in the top 25 overall, but there's going to be a lot of jockeying in those rankings because those teams are playing one another going down the stretch.
The ACC tournament is going to be loads of fun when we get to Brooklyn. Adele not there, stays with it though in traffic. Too strong, and it's pulled down by Outlaw.
Spalding's a terrific offensive rebounder, just couldn't convert.
Allen again.
Really nice swing of the basketball. Bibbs making the extra pass.
Spalding on the floor along with Adele. There you see Snyder from downtown, but it doesn't fall. And once again, Seth Allen on the move.
When you look at the numbers of Virginia Tech, a better shooting team, but similar tempo, similar scoring. It's what's the defense that separates the two.
Well, this guy hasn't been heard from, and it's going to be a tough afternoon for him with guys like Spalding and Anas Mahmoud. But Virginia Tech on a 6-0 run.
You form certain habits with your players, with discipline of being on time, being early, working hard, being diligent, being honest. A lot of the virtues you try and teach your own children, you teach as a coach. And you understand that they haven't formed all the habits yet, so you're trying to help them create positive habits. And that's one of the joys of coaching.
Well, and that's what's gotten them to the Hall of Fame. And those are things, Tim, shooting and some things on the court come and go, but all those things he talked about, you can be consistently good at every day.
Allen with the shot clock winding down, hoists it up, and it's pulled out of there by Mitchell. Leaves it for Snyder, who drives baseline. Tipped in by Spalding.
That was a knee. Those are going to be easy things, and as long as Louisville starts attacking the basket, Snyder gets up, shaking his shoulders a little bit. But the interesting thing with Virginia Tech, if a team's going to shoot a lot of threes, they don't get to the line, but they've gotten there as well in this game this afternoon. And Louisville has not taken a free throw yet.
That one's off the back iron. Virginia Tech now 4 of 8 from 3, 0 for 5 from 2. Spalding again, rejected. Beautiful work defensively. And the 3 ball for Adele doesn't go, but Spalding clears again. And a recycle for Snyder. And Mahmoud will be called for the foul. Got him with a body trying to go for that last rebound.
Well, it's going to be a long day inside for Outlaw on the day, but Outlaw, the terrific block on that play, and it was the pump fake that allowed him to come in from behind. You know, Bibbs slowed it up just enough for him to get back in the play defensively.
Well, Ty Outlaw is doing the best he can to help Zach Leday, who is outnumbered by the bigs, Spalding, Anas Mahmoud, and others. And he's really, I mean, it's going to be a long afternoon for him with the height and length that they have. That three does not fall for Ahmed Hill.
And I think, you know, I think if Virginia Tech continues to shoot at a high rate, that Rick Pitino is going to have to extend his defense out to cover that up a little bit. But if they start missing, he's going to be able to sit back and pack the zone in a little.
Mitchell gets one heck of a pick from Mahmoud. Good ball reversal to the wing. But it does not fall from deep for Jay Henderson. This is a kid that's only played 27 minutes all year. And Haviland is giving you a chance to attend this year's New York Life ACC tournament. Airfare, accommodations, and tournament ticket to every game for you and a guest. It's all courtesy of Haviland. Enter today at theacc.com/Haviland.
Well, and Justin Robinson, he's still shaking it off. He got absolutely leveled on that screen.
Did. Sure did. Nice work underneath by Mathiang. Yeah, that was like running into a Mack truck.
Now, Mahmoud is the widest guy in the world, by anything, but if you're not expecting it, it's just as effective and it hurts just as much.
And Leday shoved that time and fouled by Jay Henderson. I mentioned only 26 minutes this kid has played. Lake Highland Prep out of Orlando, Florida. But it's not uncommon for Rick Pitino to go deep into his bench and have effective play. The guy that won that game at Syracuse the other night, Ryan McMahon, got all 7 points in their overtime, and here he comes
right in now
onto the floor.
Yeah, you would think with Mitchell that maybe Earl, and you know, you're going to see these substitutions by both teams in the first half. Unless there's foul trouble, they may not go that deep in the second half.
Well, that one was deflected, and Mathiang takes it away.
See, I love that, putting a big on the inbounder like that.
That's what he does. He lit it up at Syracuse in the OT, and he knocks down his first tray today.
Well, he's quickly becoming a cult figure here in Louisville. He only played 5 minutes in that game, Tim, but impacted it and arguably won it for him.
Did he ever? Wonderful story today by Steve Jones in the Louisville Courier-Journal. Something we used to see all the time and rarely see anymore. Feature stories on game day in a college town. Nice work by Allen using the glass.
Yeah, you have to keep him away from his left hand. That's his strength. So good and strong going that way.
David Levitch also on the floor, the senior from Goshen, Kentucky. He negotiates into the paint. And that one goes rolling off the rim. Bibbs controlled it into Seth Allen's hands. He's going to try to get past Levitch and McMahon. He does, but he's rejected by Spalding. McMahon on the other end waits for some help.
Well, that's why they can defend a three so well. They've got those shot blockers inside.
What a find! McMahon dropping the dime, and then the baseline blast by the seldom used Henderson.
How about the new backcourt coming in, dropping a quick 5 on Virginia Tech.
And that gets the crowd, the very appreciative one here in Louisville, up on its feet. High arching off the window, a silencer from Justin Bibbs. Junior from Dayton, Ohio, makes it 27-20.
What a strong drive, and he had both bigs flying at him, Tim, on that play. It's still concentration right there.
Great interior passing, high and low, and then right back to, count it, and a foul. Spalding playing high-low with Mathiang. That's beautiful basketball. How good is that? How good is that? Oh, so enjoy it. Yeah, I was a little better with my lob wedge yesterday than I was playing the Metal Mushroom 3-point challenge today. By the way, our thanks to Gary Klim, our director who lives here in the Louisville area, for taking care of Rob Reichley and myself. We had a wonderful day on the links, G-Man. You should have been there.
Yeah, I was prepping for the game.
Somehow I knew you'd slide that one in. Would have made the Virginia Tech practice, but they had travel issues. It happens. Seth Allen, not there. And it's pulled down by Mathieu. Louisville's lead is 10 with just over 7 to play here in the opening half. McMahon with the dump down to Mathieu.
And I think, as long as this lead stays out there, that he'll leave for the McMahon and Henderson. Let them play. Give guys a rest.
Why not?
Let Snyder get some time on the bench.
In traffic. Leday. Count it. And one. Well, that's one of the few times that Zach Leday's been in a position to be facing the basket with room in the lane.
Well, I think this is what he's going to have to do, Tim. I mean, he's really tried to slug it out, posting up inside. He's going to have to pull out onto the perimeter. And he's got the ability to put the ball on the deck like that and also shoot the medium-range jump shot. So I think that's where his scoring is going to come from.
Jalen Johnson got the foul. His first. All things considered, with the pace of play being where it is, a relatively foul-free game. Only 14 fouls against the Hokies and 3 against Louisville. And Leday cannot convert the old-fashioned three-point play. 76% on the season, so usually pretty good at converting. McMahon remains at the point.
He's getting a lot of respect from Justin Robinson. He's not giving him much room, and they're trying to set some screens for him to get some space.
Now on a mismatch, he makes a move, can't get it to go on the bounce. He had Ty Outlaw on him, but could not get past him.
Well, the good thing for Outlaw that he did was he drove him off the three-point line, played him well enough that forced him into a mid-range shot.
Now Outlaw with a blow-by.
And that's that straight line drive you talked about earlier. It's something, if you're going to go out and jam those shooters, you got to give something up. But Virginia Tech's spacing is so good, it's tough to get help.
Rick Pitino talked to us about that at the start of the game today when we visited with him. He says we've been susceptible to that all year, but comes with the territory when you defend the three. Johnson's jump hook not there. Pulled down by Leday. Allen end to end. Well, that was a marvelous move by Robinson.
Well, and that's you put that on Matthew. He never got turned around. Was it big when you're running down the floor? Once you hit half court, you have to get turned around and see where the ball is. Nobody identified where Allen is.
And Robinson took advantage and just blew past the Louisville defense. A little too much concentration. And McMahon, boy, he had some contact there. Wanted some help, but Tim Nestor didn't give it to him. Pitino can't believe it. And a reminder that today's coverage of ACC basketball being broadcasted on AFN, the American Forces Network. We welcome the nearly 1 million men and women of the Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marines stationed around the globe. Glad to have you with us and hope you're enjoying our broadcast. Mitchell back on the deck now. Snyder. And Buzz a little upset.
Well, you can see
Patrick Adams on that one.
You can see the intensity in the shirt, Tim.
Yeah, you think? It's at times like these, I really want him to put his jacket back on. You know, I really do. Adele, strong move by the sophomore from Melbourne. Buzz is a piece of work. Great to have characters in the game again. He's a throwback. As you see, the 3 ball dropped through again by Ahmed Hill.
5 of 10 now on the game from behind the arc for the Hokies, keeping them right in this ball game.
It's a rarity for a team to shoot this well from deep. Alley-oop time. Dang Adele, the recipient from the lob from Mitchell.
And that's, but you know, if you're Buzz Williams, you're content to, you'd rather give up a dunk than a 3, and on that end of the floor, if your team continues to shoot this well.
Hill. Good ball reversal. That's just outstanding passing. Ty Outlaw after the whip around. The ball movement, the key there. Ahmed Hill with a tremendous laser-like pass.
Not only against this Louisville team, but come into their building and shoot this way in the first half. And you just get them into rotation, and the spacing again so good. They get open looks.
Snyder created some space there with the bump against Robinson. And the lead is 4. Virginia Tech is now 5 of their last 5 from the floor. They trailed by 4. Again, dribble, handoff, pass. It's a thing of beauty. But that's just a thing of beauty to Robinson. The way they created the opening there, Mike, is an essence of the game offensively now. The dribble handoff with space. It's an essence of the game that's really taken over college basketball.
Well, and you know, this team doesn't seem any worse for the wear, at least right now, early in the first half. Still have their legs shooting deep shots.
Hit their last 6, the Hokies. Adele again on a drive. And I think we may have had a foul underneath. We did.
Well, here you see at the 2 ends of the floor, the beautiful lob to Deng Adele, and then down the other end, Virginia Tech all afternoon has been answering with the 3 ball. That one off the glass. For Virginia Tech has been the 3 ball. Half of their field goal attempts in the game from behind the arc. They've made 7 of them so far. Excellent line, excellent spacing. This is all that Buzz Williams could ask for offensively.
There you see the numbers, 7 of 12 today. That's enough to make it a sweaty afternoon for the opposition, too. I know he takes those late showers prior to games. Maybe that has something to do with the adrenaline flow.
Somebody, the manager, please give that man a towel.
Mitchell, a quick response from downtown. Well, Gary Williams and Jimmy Patsos would be happy to know that the tradition lives on with the help of Buzz over there.
Pete Gillen wasn't far off.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, but
absolutely.
Gary used to sweat through the soles of his shoes.
Another 3 from downtown. That's just keeps on keeping on for Justin Bibbs. 39-38. This has been an enjoyable game to watch. Our job is a lot more fun when the ball goes through the hoop. Not this time.
Well, it's been very cleanly played. Not a lot of fouling.
Good pass inside by Allen. Look at that trigger to the wing again. How about that? Ahmed Hill.
And even, you know, that's what Leday offers you. We talked about him getting a little frustrated in the post, but the defense collapsed on him, and that's what allowed the open shot.
And the 21-9 run finally gives them the lead. Snyder took a step. That's a walk. But it's this passing, Mike, that has just been the key, I think.
Well, here's the tough thing is you have all those bodies inside. He's got to see outside of 4 white jerseys, and he finds his guy. He knows that's another bank shot.
How about that? And you think of 28.4. That's almost the best in the NCAA. It is the best in the ACC.
This has got to be
incredible.
This has got to be the best half that any team has had against them all year behind the arc.
And by the way, playing the carom shots, we've seen them from all over the place today.
These style points for those. I'm having a Jack Gibbons flashback.
Hey, you brought that one up on your own.
Yeah, I did.
Allen with a beautiful feed to Leday. And there are only 2 seconds on the shot clock, and that's a byproduct of now defending the 3.
Well, yeah, and that's the decision that Rick Pitino makes. All right, they've continued to knock down 3s at that rate. I'd rather play 2-ball with them than have them getting open looks.
Snyder with a teardrop.
You know, that's going to be there all afternoon for Louisville. You know, it's a matter if they can shut down the three-point shooting for Virginia Tech and, you know, make them contested two-point shooters.
Buzz is going to take a timeout with 2.6, the discrepancy between the shot and the game clock remaining here in the half. Well, coming up at halftime on the Hardee's Halftime Report, we'll preview a new show from Raycom Sports and the ACC called A Cut Above, the legacy of the New York City basketball area and the ACC. Our own Corey Alexander is on hand and talked with Charlie Scott, Kenny Anderson, Bobby Crimmins, Julius Hodge, all at the barbershop in Harlem to talk about the city playgrounds and the players who came down south from New York. Mike, I know as an old Connecticut young man, not far from the big city, you heard all about the streets of the city.
Well, I tell you what, I was recruited by the guy who may have been the forefather of all of that with Frank McGuire.
Yep.
You know, you think of that 1957 North Carolina team comprised of a lot of guys from New York City, and it was called the Underground Railroad from New York down to Chapel Hill,
Road,
down to Tobacco Road. So he was the godfather of all of that.
The subway from the city to Tobacco Road. 43-41, almost holding it for the last shot. They'll have to launch with 2 left on the clock, and that's going to be a bailout foul from Mahmoud with 9.4 remaining, and that's number 2 on Anas Mahmoud.
Well, you know, you have to think that this, the Duke win aside earlier in the year, that this team is playing with as much confidence as they've had in a while coming off these last 2 wins.
Yeah, I think they're loose because they feel like they are in. I mean, that's what we're seeing, the byproduct of. And another foul, this one by Spalding inside, and they'll have an opportunity now to get to the free throw line. You know, you see sometimes, I think, Mike, we've been doing games together for a long time, clubs that are on the bubble and they play with this degree of stress that is noticeable. And I think once a team feels like, okay, we've done what we need to do, they play with an expression of freedom. And that's what I'm sensing from Virginia Tech. And Pitino's having to deal with that now.
Well, and, you know, quite frankly, too, you got 7 guys. Everybody's going to get playing time, so you don't have players worrying about that.
A lot of happiness.
And,
a lot of happiness.
But let's see what happens to that shooting percentage in the second half and what kind of adjustments that Louisville makes.
Snyder at the buzzer off the window. Wow. That was a little too easy for Buzz's liking. But Virginia Tech still ends the half on a 24-13 run.
Yeah, this is just the rim has been wide open, and it's been wide open for both teams. Been a terrific offensive game. I don't know if either coach is happy with their defense at this point.
We shall see if the next 20 minutes are a reflection of the halftime conversations that each coach will have about that aspect of the game. 44-43 our score here at the break. The Hardee's Halftime Report is coming right up.
ACC basketball is being brought to you by Geico, saving people money for over 75 years. By Food Lion, raising standards without raising prices. How refreshing. By your local Chevy dealers. And by Mellow Mushroom, the local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
The sweet smell of a Louisville Slugger. When you picked it up, you knew right away. That is so very cool. The factory right down the street. In fact, they actually made a bat for us. How about that, G-Man? How cool is that?
Big time. They made one for me, too, at a game I did here earlier. I got it sitting in my closet.
I have a couple back at the Chateau, as a matter of fact. And
love it.
There was a time when I did play the game with a Louisville Slugger, but it was a bamboo bat, and I broke too many of them.
There we go.
Yeah, look at that.
We got a fashion change.
Yes. He decided to go all with the pom. I don't know why he didn't bring pom-poms with it. Thankfully, he decided to make the change. Buzz is, as we said before, you never know what to expect. Breath of fresh air to the game, and a quick foul. It goes against Hadim C.
Well, we went from jacket to that to getting hit with a fire hose.
Oh, it's beautiful.
To this.
I still believe it's the late showers that he takes just before game time that spawns the sweat. I really do. 44-43. Let's see what happens here. Will the defenses improve, Mike? That's the question, right?
Well, for more importantly for Louisville, can they get some turnovers and can they cover out on a three-point shot? Really
walked. Yep. Pivot foot slipped on him. If you look at our game summary, Mitchell perfect in the game, but interestingly, he was 5 of 5 in the first 5:18 of the first half. Mike did not take another shot.
And there you see
until the 14:42 had gone by in the first half.
Yeah, the two big numbers, the turnovers right there, and then the three-point shooting for the Hokies. And I would suspect, Tim, that Donovan Mitchell will be a lot more assertive offensively in the second half.
Another three ball, this one for Outlaw. Those dropped steadily in the first half, and Mitchell goes right to the rack this time and is fouled. And it's Adim C again, his third. Second, I beg your pardon. Not his third.
And Notre Dame with a win over NC State keeps themselves up near the top. Jim Larinaga just year in, year out. And it's been a heartbreaking year for Clemson this year. So many close losses.
Beecham had 27 in that win for Notre Dame. A lot of people wondering, I think, Mike, about not just the timing, but also Mark Gottfried's willingness to work the rest of the year, and Debbie Yell allowing that at NC State.
I was a little surprised at that, Tim, to be honest. I just think it puts everybody in a very awkward position. Players, you're getting asked about it all the time. You're getting interviewed about it all the time. He's got to face the fire. You know, something tells me that if Bobby Lutz was still on that staff, that would not be the circumstance.
Yeah, it wouldn't have happened. Yep, good point. Again, that dribble drive leads to an opportunity, and that little teardrop does fall for Ahmed Hill.
But at least in that when they got in rotation, the closeout, the X-out was much better, and they forced a drive instead of an open three.
Justin Robinson, G-Man, has done a great job with those dribble drives and kickouts. And the lane just opened like the Red Sea there for Jalen Johnson, and the youngster from Ypsilanti, Michigan, puts it through.
Well, we can't understate the loss of Chris Clark and what he meant to this team.
No question.
How big a hit that was. We hadn't talked about it. Unfortunate injury, torn his ACL, but fortunately, a sophomore, he's going to have a chance to come back. But he was a big part of what they did.
Well, he was fourth on the team in scoring, the team leader on a rebounding club that really had struggled somewhat. And there you see yet another answer from deep from Justin Bibbs. 49-47, 2.5 gone by here in the second.
This is almost getting to be like a Hoosier situation for Buzz Williams.
Yes, it is.
And manpower.
How about that for Snyder?
So they have to put chairs out on the floor during practice to dribble around. Testament to this group.
Well, it was true for all of his teams at Marquette. It's true now. There were some of those clubs that struggled to get to 40 points in a game. Now he's doing it with guys that know how to score. And from a defensive standpoint, you take what comes your way. The circumstances being what they are. Bibbs couldn't get that one to fall. Mitchell! Everything but the finish. And that's going to be an offensive foul. So a player control foul. It goes against Mathiang. And don't forget the 2017 New York Life ACC Tournament. The Barclays Center in Brooklyn. All begins on Tuesday, March the 7th. And it's the 35th year that we have had it for you. Check out the ACC.com/ACC Network TV.
Can't wait to sit in the co-pilot seat next to you, partner.
That'll be fun.
In the afternoon sessions.
First time that you and I have been able to work together through the entire bulk of the ACC tournament. This is what's been happening when Robinson's had the ball. He's created open looks for his teammates, and Ty Outlaw from the elbow gets that one to go.
And Outlaw has been a very quiet killer in this game. He's got 13 points. He's only taken 6 shots, knocked down 3 threes.
Loose ball and looking. Once again, Robinson makes the play. Tie ball with the arrow on this end of the floor, so Louisville will keep it.
See, I'm really glad that he just went down. You didn't get possession, but you got the arrow back. But that he didn't try to call for a timeout, because I don't believe in those plays in the second half, burning a timeout this early just to get possession of the ball.
Yeah, to see the great coaching and excitement level from Buzz being what it is for a kid like Robinson, who's really playing at a high level today. There's a straight line drive for Jalen Johnson. Tied at 51. Yeah, and right before the TV timeout, he gets Robinson to the bench. Again, massaging minutes is what Buzz is up to, because he can only go too deep into his bench.
Well, he had Galloway out there for a little bit early on. I doubt you'll see that much in the second half. It's going to be more substitutions around the TV timeouts.
Leday, that one knocked away by Mitchell. Great hustle play, and even Buzz appreciated it. Patted him on his derriere. 3 ties, team lead changes. An outstanding ACC tilt. And
averaging just under 4 points a game, and already he's knocked down 5 of 6 from the floor, and 13 points for him. He has been absolutely outstanding in this game, and that's just in 20 minutes of action.
I got to tell you, against a team like Louisville that prides itself on its perimeter defense, I can't imagine a team coming in that's only 7 deep that would have only turned the ball over, Mike, 3 times in a game. The guard play for Buzz Williams' club today has been exemplary.
Well, and that's the thing that, now an ill-advised pass there, just when you were talking about timeouts and turnovers. But, to come in and give a team this much confidence in your building, it's tough to overcome.
McMahon trying to oop to Mahmoud. Good presence of mind to get it out to Dang Adele. Mahmoud tries to save it, but it goes into the hands of Ahmed Hill. 2-on-3 break, and it's a block. Count it, and 1. Buzz's team is playing tough, tenacious.
And I was a little surprised that he took this one all the way. He's been a little quiet today, scoring the basketball, 11 points, and but that was like a 1-on-3 break.
Yeah.
And still put his head down, went right at him.
He missed all of last year, this kid, with what was determined to be a patella tendon tear. Required surgery. Made a huge difference, though, for Buzz Williams to have him. Buzz will tell you he's got the best motor on his squad, and that's saying quite a lot.
We talked about that Virginia win. Played 44 of 45 minutes in that game.
Unbelievable. When you talk about teams outside the top 25, a lot of the country just does not understand how good they are. That's a 3-ball, and we got a foul off the ball, so we could have a 3 plus a foul. Yes. McMahon gets the 3 plus the foul off the ball, means this could be a 5-point trip.
Well, Leday gets called for the foul. There's the look, and I tell you what, McMahon has come in and given this team a big. Talk about a young man playing with a lot of confidence right now.
And that story today that I mentioned, Steve Jones. Now they've got a chance to get 2 or 3 more here. This could be a 5 or 6 point trip. This story that ran today on McMahon was magnificent. As I said, sort of a lost art in today's sports journalism is to see an uplifting feature story on game day. This kid has been nothing short of amazing. Mahmoud comes away with a rebound. He's going to trigger it again.
Well, the whole thing there, we talked about the big difference in second chance points and offensive rebounding. That's what Mahmoud makes that play. And McMahon just playing fearlessly right now.
6-point trip, all from McMahon. The youngster from Sarasota that Dickie V told Rick Pitino about. No other Division I school was recruiting him. His older brother played soccer for Vitale's son-in-law, and he said, "You got to come see this kid." Pitino did, and it's delivering in trays today in the Commonwealth. In one possession for Ryan McMahon.
But Tim, he's played 7 minutes in this ball game. You can make an argument it's been Louisville's best 7 minutes so far this afternoon. And when you score 9 points in 7 minutes, 3 of 4 from 3, I mean, this young man has earned more playing time.
His dad played hoops. His father Dave played at Valparaiso, the old home to the Drew family. And this kid has been a quick draw for the Cards since overtime at Syracuse. And that's going to be a block. It goes against Dang Adele.
Now, I think down at the other end, down at this end, that McMahon is guarding Bibbs. And Bibbs has got a big size advantage there. I'd like to get the ball in his hands and try to attack him a little bit.
By the way, McMahon and Mitchell are a collective 7 of 8 from 3. And on this end of the floor, Bibbs and Outlaw, a collective 6 of 7 from downtown. And as Leday takes it inside, he's fouled.
See, and that's his advantage against Mahmoud, who's obviously a little bit more fleet of foot. But Leday can take him off the drive, and he can force fouls. Nobody got into the penalty in that first half. It's going to be critical for Virginia Tech to get into the penalty early if they can.
2 fouls against Mahmoud. Nice dump to Leday. Everything but the finish. It was right there.
The length of Mahmoud that time bothered that shot. It's not a block, but it should count as a block because he was looking for him.
Mahmoud's willingness to handle and then set picks like that one for Mitchell. That's just a dribble handoff, which acts as a pick as well, and it's 59-53. That leaves Louisville with an 8-0 run on a 6-point lead.
And the crowd into it, Tim, and I think I bet you they thought today was going to be a gimme, and it's turned to be anything but. So the crowd has come alive.
Leday again, and he walked. Well, Buzz has that self-absorbent T-shirt working for Virginia Tech. Seems calm, cool, and collected, though his team has fallen behind by 6. But the way the game is played, 6 points means 0 in a game like this. You know, Louisville led by 10. That was their largest lead in the first half, and it was quickly erased.
Both teams sitting at 4 personal fouls right now. So again, inching toward quickly toward the penalty.
Justin Robinson just got that foul on the bump, his third. First player for either team with 3 fouls. Adele, Mahmoud, Jalen Johnson, McMahon, and Donovan Mitchell, the 5 on the floor for Pitino's team.
Tim, only one 3-point basket for Virginia Tech in this second half so far.
Yep. Adele with a teardrop that's woefully short. And one. Give credit to Johnson. He knew where it was, that it was going to be short, took advantage, and will have a chance at an old-fashioned 3-point play. So the lead is back to 8. And Johnson will try to convert it right here.
Yeah, it's just going to be an area all afternoon and the rest of this game where Louisville's going to have a huge advantage. The missed shot, second chance opportunities so far, 21-0 in this game, Tim.
Seth Allen drops it through. I love the way he follows his own shot. I mean, even when it looks good, he is following it every time. Gives himself a chance at an offensive rebound.
Yeah, I'll disagree with you as a shooter. To me, that's a negative image. That means you think you're going to miss and you're going to get a rebound.
High lob from Mahmoud. It's taken away by Leday. Well, you know,
That was just my philosophy.
Yeah,
I followed other guys' shots. I didn't follow mine.
Well, Allen decided to not follow that one because he was absolutely sure.
Right, yeah, he knew. And just when it seemed like this game was going to get away from Virginia Tech, they just come and fight right back.
9 to 10 points in a game like today's means very little. Take a look around the ACC. You see some of the scores that Mike mentioned earlier. Miami. And it's brought to you by Flonase Sensimist.
Well, you got Notre Dame now sitting at 10 wins, so they're staying close to the top of the pack. Miami right in the middle at 8-6. The bottom four, Duke is starting to assert itself, shooting very well in that game. Well, just with that bottom game, it's going to be a tough road game for Virginia to pull off North Carolina. We'll see how much the Kenny Williams effect has on that team. But I think as long as Theo Pinson is healthy, they're in good shape.
I would agree. Inside Johnson. Feeds for three, and there it is from Snyder. 65-59, length of the floor. Mahmoud breaks it up. Numbers for Mitchell. Donovan with a finger roll. And it rolls off the heel. Robinson's been outstanding. He has just been a facilitator all afternoon long. Seth Allen wants to take it, and he will. Count it.
They're having real trouble, Louisville is, guarding that two-man game up front. Mahmoud kind of caught in the middle, and they're not getting over the screener.
A combination of Seth Allen's strength shooting the ball and the facilitating ability of Robinson has just been dynamite for the Hokies. Nice drop step maneuver, but a rejection, but foul. Leday will be guilty of the personal. 5 different Hokies with threes today. This is some fun, isn't it? Sure, it's your first-round draft pick for car insurance.
Well, this is a look at how Seth Allen works. And look at the spacing that Virginia Tech gets. It opens up driving lanes for everybody. And then this is just a great individual move at the end, a pump fake, scoring against 4 Virginia players. And in this game, though, he's been living on the perimeter a little bit more, Tim. He's been knocking down threes. 4 of 5 from behind the arc, 5 of 8 overall, 17 points is about as efficient as you want to get.
It's amazing to think of this, but Virginia Tech, you see the run here and the numbers today from 3. They've made, Mike, 16 of their last 19 field goals and yet trail in this game by 3. I mean, that should tell you the level of efficiency on both sides, really.
See, I knew that self-absorbed shirt for Buzz wasn't there. He's got the towel now as well as the shirt. We're getting down to the last 10 minutes. This is like the back beautiful. 9 of Augusta on Sunday.
Indeed. I used to love those before and after shots of Rolly Massimino when he was coaching, and I think the modern day version of that might be Buzz, even though he doesn't have the late Professor Irwin Corey hair going. He got rid of that problem. 67-62. You know Allen wants to launch it whenever he gets a little bit of space, and this is the guy that's created it all day long, Robinson. Leday drives right by Mahmoud and is fouled.
Well, it was interesting in that situation, Tim. A lot of times a team will bring up one high screen at the end of the clock. Virginia Tech had 2 up there, so he had a couple of options, and Leday gets the ball and made a nice drive to his right hand.
Redshirt senior from Dallas, Texas, transfer from South Florida. This young man, his emergence aided this club big time at the end of last year, and it just carried through into this season. I mean, his double-figure numbers are through the roof. In 24 of his 25 games, he's been in double figures. Got his 400th career rebound against Notre Dame earlier in the year.
More importantly, he's had double-doubles 2 of the last 3, which has gone a long way, and to have letting them get those signature wins that they've needed over Pitt and Virginia.
Mathiang, good ball fake and a deuce.
The crowd got a little tense when Mathiang got to his third dribble, but he was able to convert the play.
69-64.
2-3 matchup zone now for Louisville.
There's Allen, and that's 3.
See, you come off of a double team. You can leave anybody, but you can't leave number 4 right now. I mean, he's killing you. You've got to put somebody in his shirt and let him stay there.
We've seen a lot of basketball this year, G-Man, but this has been as entertaining offensively a game as I've seen. On the wing, a 3-ball. Oh, the iron, really kind. Dang, Adele rings one up.
And who would you think, Timmy, would you ever thought this year that you would have said an entertaining basketball game in this arena by a visiting team?
Absolutely.
Against one of the best defensive teams in the country.
It's just amazing. And if you don't think Virginia Tech is ready for prime time, then you haven't been paying attention. Allen with 5 on the clock. Oh, the rainbow flows in the Commonwealth. 72-70.
Well, it was interesting that Rick Pitino was yelling at his team, and Mathiang pointed down almost on the other side of half court, saying he shot it from here.
Adele and 1. Allen gets the foul.
Here's the look, and he just got lost. We see the double team right there, and he's just laughing, and Johnson just kept on backing up and backing up. And, if you're a big in that situation, Tim, come out and crowd him, give up the drive. You know you're going to get beat.
Let me tell you, without a really good handheld cameraman, that ball would have gone out of the frame. He put that one up in the stratosphere, that last 3-ball that we witnessed. Meanwhile, though, Adele with a chance to build the lead to 5, but he doesn't get it to go. Allen is now 5 of 5 from downtown. All 3s here in the second half.
Virginia Tech at this point has got to be thinking, what do we have to do to get a lead in this game? Walk.
Yeah. Yeah, Buzz a little frustrated with Lede there. A little too much ball handling by his post player.
Well, you're going to have 2 number 4s going at it, because I think they put Snyder on Allen and say, do not leave him.
You think Rick has had enough of that?
Yeah.
Watching Allen drain tray after tray. Snyder. Well, number 4 is doing his job for Louisville just as number 4 is for Virginia Tech. 77-70. Look at that scoring. Incredible. What a show. And 7 points means very little in a game like this. And we'll be back after this word from your local ACC station. Some may wonder why the Atlantic Coast Conference has a chance to reach or perhaps pass the old configured Big East when they had 11 teams get into the NCAAs, a record number back in 2011. But when you watch Virginia Tech's play today on this floor against a team that prides itself on defense, you know why. And by the way, on this court named after Denny Crum, happy to say the 80-year-old is on hand watching Pitino's team. Great to talk with him before the game today. What a treat. 77-70 after the 5th turnover committed today by Virginia Tech. Only the 5th.
And a little early shot, but that was, the one thing, even though it was a turnover, it allowed Virginia Tech to get back and get their defense set.
Allen, the leaping leaner won't go.
Yeah, that's terrific. A great defense. Just drive him off the 3-point line, come flying at him under control, make him put it on the floor.
And Patino's trying to tighten up that vice around the three-point line that's been so good for him all year long. That one goes crying off the front iron for Quentin Snyder. Outlaw gives it up to Allen. The ball movement's been the key, and Robinson's been the engine, number 5 for Virginia Tech. Allen pick and roll to Leday, and a foul underneath. He may be a lot smaller than the bigs he's going up against today, but Zach Leday is going to get his numbers, no matter what.
But Louisville right now much more concerned, Rick Pitino concerned with his bigs, especially when Leday is in the pick and roll, staying with the shooter and giving up that layup and taking their chances with him at the free throw line.
Spalding the foul, his first. And Leday at the line. A lot of minutes played for him. He struggled at times to score, but he has certainly passed the ball beautifully, and that's another great strength of his game. Averaging 15 points a game, but also an outstanding passer of the basketball. (77-72). Snyder remains on the floor with Spalding, Mathiang, Mitchell, and Deng Adele. Adele pulls up. Pulled down by Allen, and he lost it to Mitchell, and then quickly a frustration foul. Patrick Adams, who called it, slipped on the deck.
So still one-on-one, and that was again, I thought Louisville had a couple of loose possessions. That was a questionable shot, but the offensive rebound, and that's just Mitchell out fighting Seth Allen for the ball. Yeah. So it'll be a one-on-one.
Tough part for that is that Seth Allen just committed his 4th foul. And Patrick Adams went over to get the ball and then slipped on the perspiration where the two players had fallen down, and I thought maybe he could have hyperextended his knee. And so Seth will sit down for a brief time here with the 4 fouls.
I think I think depending how this next, you try to get it under the 4-minute TV timeout
before Allen gets back in.
Yeah. Okay. See if you can survive this little stretch without Louisville stretching out the game any more.
In a lot of ways, even without the 4th foul, he was probably thinking about getting him some time off the bench. Do we have a lane violation here?
Foul. I think there's a foul. No, there is a lane violation.
Wow.
Well, that's when you're undersized like Leday. That's what it forces you to do. You have to, jump it a little bit and try to get in early on the block out.
So it's still 1-1 on that lane violation, with Mitchell at the free throw line. Second chance points that's one stat that's been all Louisville. They've outscored Virginia Tech 21-0 in putback opportunities. And in essence, this is a dead ball second chance opportunity.
You're talking about what you miss in Allen. What it allows Louisville now is to really concentrate on some other players out on the perimeter. You don't have to really lock in on him. Let's see if there's somebody who steps up.
Oh, wow. Did we get another foul? Wow, Buzz can't believe this. Leday got another. First a violation, then a quick foul. You talk about that plus the 6-point trip for Ryan McMahon. I mean, mark this one down. This sequence, plus when they got the foul off the ball.
That wasn't a foul, Tim. That was
another lane violation.
That was a lane violation. Yeah, they're still sitting at 9.
So that was two
lane violations.
2 lane violations back to back. I thought they got foul, or they got Leday with a foul. Thank you for that. 78-72. Well, the good news is Leday is playing well on this end of the floor, and that's going to get him into double digits for the day yet again. So his streak will continue.
Well, and they had to call a timeout. Remember now, when you're holding the ball, the 5-second count is in play.
Yep.
And they were close that time, so they had to burn an unnecessary timeout with 5:40 to go.
The other good news is Leday did not pick up that extra foul underneath. A reminder, coming up Tuesday, 8 Eastern, most will see NC State at Georgia Tech. Two of the great freshmen in the country on hand, Dennis Smith Jr. and Josh Okogie. For the entire ACC Network game schedule, visit the ACC.com/ACC Network. The news around NC State, obviously, a very difficult circumstance for Mark Gottfried, whose team won at Cameron, hasn't won since. And you look at his body of work over the 5 years. Mike, I know there were certainly issues the past 2 seasons, and particularly with the loss of Bobby Lutz on his staff, not adequately replacing him. But I would also suggest to you that North Carolina State is going to have a very difficult time fulfilling that vacancy because, you know, they got Mark out of coaching exile. He was doing television work, and that job was offered to a number of people even then. There's a slam for Matthew Yang. He did take him to 2 Sweet 16s in 5 years.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. A couple names floated out there, Archie Miller already, but you know, that'll work itself out.
Low by Leday again, and the foul underneath by Matthew Yang.
Well, here's the look, and it's a great face-up, and for, you know, Leday, he's kind of on an island down there, but Matthew Yang was wide open on that beautiful pass. I thought Mitchell was very patient on that play.
2 fouls on Matthew Yang.
This is interesting. You got a free timeout. There's nobody on the line right now with Leday shooting, but all 4 other players were over with Buzz Williams.
Taking advantage of every millisecond available to him, Buzz. By the way, that Wake Forest Duke game is now a 7-point game.
88-81 with 45. John Collins, 28, who I think has played his way into first-team consideration.
I would agree with that. I've seen him enough.
Yeah, I mean, he is outstanding.
Kid can play.
Boy, can Danny Manning coach bigs?
Yeah.
I mean, he just makes his bigs better.
A lot of people thought when he lost Devin Thomas they would struggle. He answered the call, no question about that. 80-76 with under 5 to play. May take 100 to win this one. Not there, but the tip in goes by Jalen Johnson. 24-0 in second chance points for Louisville.
It's only been the Virginia Tech 3-point shooting that has been able to overcome that, and that's dried up a little bit with Allen out.
Another tray for Outlaw. Man, he's shooting 37% coming in today, and he has been.
It didn't take a lot.
No,
but 4 of 5 from 3 on the afternoon.
Amazing. Adele looking for some help and finds some. Down low to Johnson again. Virginia Tech's just depleted in that area. If you keep going down low, they should deliver. Another 3 doesn't fall. Leday had it knocked away though. Adele leads the break. Numbers 3 on 2. Snyder tapped out, saved by Matthew.
Yeah, they're getting all the 50-50 balls right now, Tim.
Alley-oop and a slam, hammer style. JJ with the big-time payday. Timeout, Virginia Tech. Listen to this crowd in Louisville. Put it up and slam it home. Some entertaining game today.
Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. By Hardee's. By PNC Bank. And by Haviland, official motor oil of the ACC.
You could say that elevating the ACC is what Louisville has done since joining the conference. Mike, I, for one, love the college basketball environment no matter where I am. But this is one of my favorite stops in the entire game.
And you can see why Rick Pitino has chosen to stay here as long as he has. And look at that. I mean, you just don't see numbers like that in the game today for both teams.
Seth Allen with that extra pass, but Mitchell reaching in will pick up the foul. By the way, talking about shooting, if you were wondering how long it's been since Louisville gave up this many threes, it's been over 10 years. Notre Dame on February 4th of 2006 had 17 against Louisville. Today, Virginia Tech has 16 with 3+ minutes remaining. So they have a chance to tie the all-time record of threes against Louisville.
Well, the key number for Virginia Tech right now is that they are out of timeouts, Tim, with 3:18 to go. So Buzz Williams going to have to massage this one to the end without any calls, and that's why he had that kind of, he'll be having more of those conferences on the sideline.
He may be rooting for fouls, right? So you get those opportunities to chat with his playmakers.
Well, this is definitely a stretch now that Louisville is going to be defending outside in. I mean, they're going to be covering up the three-point line, and they'll live with whatever happens in behind it. Rick Pitino would like to see in his last 3 minutes them get a couple of turnovers, maybe some plays in the open floor.
Virginia Tech has to play a lot of that matchup zone, and he understands that. With that in mind, they can go get extra opportunities on the glass, and Mitchell makes sure they don't have to worry about it. It's an 8-point game. Well, we touched on him at the very outset of our broadcast, how hot he's been, and he is still scorching. Leday bumped. Will get to the line after the foul on Johnson.
Well, I tell you what, Tim, I don't know if you agree with me. This may be, we touched on, I called out John Collins in first team All ACC. Yeah. This may be as tough a year to pick 5 out of that group.
Agreed.
As in recent memory.
A lot of people around the country may not have been aware of Zach Leday upon his transfer to Virginia Tech. Regardless of the outcome of this game, they're going to find out a lot about him in March, because this team is headed to the NCAAs.
The thing that impresses me, I mean, he's 10 of 11 from the free throw line, and to be able to draw fouls against the bigger front line of Louisville, not easy to do.
Yeah, he's 76% on the season, so when he gets there, he's going to convert more often than not. Still a 2-possession game with 2 and change remaining. Mitchell again all the way. Yet another tip, and it's pulled down by Leday.
Louisville a little deliberate on that last possession, trying to run some clock.
Robinson trying to deal inside to Allen, the cutter, but it was knocked away off really the back of
Johnson. Yeah.
Johnson. Robinson will trigger it in.
And keep in mind too that if there's any thought or discussion of it, that's a reviewable play in the last 2 minutes of the game. So any out of bounds play can be looked at.
Look out for Mitchell. Look out for him. Leday claims it.
Wow, Seth Allen awfully lucky on that play. That looked like Mitchell had that one teed up.
Dribble handoff. Pick and roll to Leday. A thing of beauty.
Yeah, but you know what? It wasn't a 3 by Allen. They had that. That was anything else was going to happen but that.
89-85. 18-6 for Zach, who's having a wonderful day.
That's it is. I mean, it's, the best basketball is the simplest basketball, and this is a 2-man game. This is jump out, you roll, pick and roll, 2 points. The help is late getting there defensively.
To your point, we were discussing Seth Allen, what a marvelous player he is. The senior from Woodbridge, Virginia. The Maryland transfer has made a lot of big shots this week. How about on Sunday against Virginia? He hit the game winner with 3.2 seconds left in the second OT. And then 2 days later, a big shot with a minute left to give the Hokies the come-from-behind win. And in a lot of ways, I think the committee is as impressed, even though Pitt's having a down year, with the ability to sustain success. You beat an in-state rival in your own conference, then you go on the road. That game against Pitt, I believe, is as effective as the one against Virginia.
Any road win in conference this year is going to be looked at as a good win.
Absolutely. 21 of their last 26 field goals, and yet down by 4 with 90 seconds left. Shot clock at 10 with Donovan Mitchell in control of it. Mathiang gives it back to Mitchell, falling away. Off the front iron, but Jalen Johnson with another recycle.
Just a killer. The awesome defense that time by Virginia Tech, and they get another 30 seconds.
Don't need it, but Mathiang will take it. Did not need it, though.
Oh, and Rick Pitino did not want that shot at that point. He wanted more clock run.
Robinson deals. Does he ever? All the way. Short-armed it out of bounds off Louisville. Virginia Tech will keep it. Boy, Robinson did everything except convert.
Well, the thing you can't do is... Well, now they're going to. What happens now, and this really helps Virginia Tech. They're going to go look at whether that ball, who it was out of bounds off of. Now, if they didn't have to look at it, Virginia Tech would have to run this play without a timeout. Now, with that play, they're able to go over and draw something up.
Yeah, and I understand why they want to look at it, but I don't think they're going to find anything definitive. Tim Nestor had this call correct.
It looked like Johnson coming
right there. Yep,
right there was the last one to touch it.
Not from that angle, you don't, but from the angle we saw from the midcourt from behind, there was nothing definitive there to overturn this, in my opinion. And as you stated, the biggest aspect of this stoppage is what it does for Virginia Tech in terms of setting up an out-of-bounds play. Yep. But by rule, there's nothing Pitino can say or do about it. It's in the rule book, and it's a great rule.
Yeah, I think it was one that needed to be implemented. But sometimes it works to your advantage, sometimes it doesn't work to your advantage.
Roger Ayers and Tim Nestor taking a long look at it. I think Pitino knows the eventual outcome, I think, and that's one of the reasons why he's disturbed. But
that's the thing. I mean, now it gets you an extra timeout, but what if the call is overturned?
Well, our performance of the game is brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. And how about his game today?
Well, I thought he really gave his team a spark at the first 10 minutes of the game, and but very deserving. And
as expected, the call is confirmed, and Virginia Tech controls.
They have length on the inbounder.
End-to-end again. Robinson comes out of there with it. Working on Snyder. 24 to shoot, 30 to play. From way downtown. Not there. Loose ball taken down by Snyder, and a quick foul given up. Well, Bibbs had to put it up. They needed a quick three. It was going to take 2 possessions, and now you extend the game by putting Quentin Snyder at the line, and all he can do is still continue a 2-possession game, even if he makes both shots.
Yeah, and what you do now if you're Louisville, regardless of what happens here, you come down, you put 5 defenders in the 3-point line, don't foul. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little fake pressure up front just to run a little bit of clock off it, just on the front end.
The old rag the ball routine?
Yeah.
The defender rags the ball handler to make sure that he has to work to get the ball up the floor. And that's what Mitchell's going to do.
Everything is switch out on the perimeter.
Allen. Oh, my goodness. The iron unkind, but it's pulled down by Leday. They swing it out for three to Outlaw. He cans it. It's 91-88. 7.4, a one-possession game. And we got a quick foul. Oh, it's a intentional foul. Oh, boy. And Buzz can't believe that. Well, that ruins any opportunity that you really had.
Yeah, that was a foul off of the not at the ball, and actually Snyder had broken free on the other side.
It was Leday that got the foul, and you just have to make sure that it's not intentional. Beautiful three. I mean, clearly you want to give up a foul, but you don't want it to be an intentional foul.
Well, not making a play on the ball.
Yeah.
And
Leday feels badly about it, obviously. He just wrapped him up, no play on the ball.
yeah, well, it's almost when it's a roll of Johnson's 62%, so it's a roll of the dice that he's going to miss both of them.
He was doing what was instructed, but the rule as it states is he must be making a play on the ball. He was not, therefore Roger Ayers with the correct intentional foul call. And that also means the ball out of bounds to Louisville.
Yeah, so Buzz Williams trying to get his team to, go for the steal, foul as quickly as he can, making a play on the ball.
Part of that can be communication issues too. You don't have a timeout. You're trying to shout to your guys what you want.
And now they've got Johnson, the poorest of the free throw shooters out there, as their inbounder.
Well, it's some game today. Many thanks to Rob Reichley, our producer, director Gary Clem, our entire Raycom sports team. This one has been a joy to broadcast, and Mitchell quickly fouled again. Robinson picks up his fifth, and he's done for the day. But what a performance, Mike, by Justin Robinson. The kid from Manassas, Virginia, gave everything and then some.
Here's another thing I don't agree with. When a player fouling out, that it becomes a free timeout, and it should. And I believe in this situation, you should have X amount of time to get you in, which you do, but you shouldn't be able to meet with your coach. And I don't think a guy fouling out warrants you getting a free timeout.
And one of the issues that we discuss all the time about college basketball is how long it takes to play the last couple of minutes, and that's something the rules committee can take a look at. I agree with you.
But if you had asked Buzz Williams that, all right, we're going to come in today and we're going to shoot 17 of 26 from three and score 88 points.
Yeah.
Do you think that he would have thought maybe that's enough?
Right. Yeah, indeed. All right. Very quietly, Ryan McMahon has come back onto the floor, number 30, and in terms of minutes played and effectiveness, number 30 in white, what a day for him again, huh?
9 points, 9 minutes, 3 of 4 from three.
Unreal. Just unreal. This young man from Sarasota has become a star in Louisville. Well, Mitchell knocks them both down, 94-88. Length of the floor, Allen's going to throw one in as quickly as he can at point 4, and that will do it. Well, for highlights and must-see moments from this game and others, we invite you to check out theACC.com. Magnificent performance by Rick Pitino's team. They get their 22nd win of the year, 10-4 in the ACC. Our next broadcast on most of the ACC stations takes place with Georgia Tech and NC State on Tuesday. You've been watching coverage of the Atlantic Coast Conference basketball on the ACC Network. For Mike Jaminski, this is Tim Brando saying so long from Louisville, an exclusive production of Raycom Sports.